Ready. So let's just settle into a comfortable seated posture. Hi, Vandana. All right. Just, I mean, if you are, if you're sitting with your legs down, I can see some of you are in cross-legged position, but if you're sitting with the legs down on the floor, try to avoid the temptation to cross your feet or your knees, because that kind of tilts the pelvis and the spine. So try and sit with the feet, both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. Excuse me. And then if you're sitting cross-legged, of course, just feel the weight of your feet underneath your legs. If you're sitting with the legs down, feel the weight of the feet on the floor. And feel the weight of your pelvis on your seat. Particularly if you're in the cross-legged position, have something just lifting up your sits bones and your coccyx a little bit. That changes the angle of the pelvis, makes it easier to sit straight. Align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders as best you can. And in order to do that, you may need to lengthen your spine to sit a little longer. So imagine this beautiful spine of yours stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Putting some space in between those vertebrae. Imagine a string of pearls of light. And then go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Just release any tension on your head, then your forehead, and just relax your face. Just release any tension in your face. And the nose, the mouth, the jaw, the ears, the temples. And just go to the back of the head, at the base of the skull, and just release that area there. Then relax the back of the neck, the shoulders. And just allow your shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And bring the attention to the breath. Notice the sensation of the breath as you inhale and exhale around the nostrils, around the chest cavity, from the tip of the collarbones down to the last rib. Your lungs sit behind there. And this diaphragm, this major muscle, so amazing work in assisting the inhalation and exhalation of the breath. And then notice the belly rising and falling. Be aware of sound in your environment, outside your environment. Just allowing those sounds to be there and trying not to follow with the mind. Then just check what is going on in your mind tonight, this morning, this afternoon. So we have people here in a number of different time zones. So check, how is your day so far? Try and put some space in between your thoughts. Be curious about what's in your mind and also objective. And then bring to mind some people of your life, your loved ones, strangers, and then the ones you don't like so much. In the texts, this practice of equanimity, they refer to those ones as enemies. I find that word quite strong because, someone you have aversion for might not necessarily be an enemy in the conventional sense of the word, but, you just kind of avoid them. You kind of have aversion, or they irritate you. But these, because of independence, due to impermanence, these relationships can change. It can change place. The person that was the friend can be the stranger and vice versa. And they're all equal. Just like you and me, they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified for everybody, even the one we don't like. So I think we'll do this purification practice for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we come to this idea of creating negativity with our mind. This is what Lama Yeshe says. So we can easily change that by creating positivity instead. And, this is also due to this idea of neuroplasticity. It's not just kind of some magic thing that happens from nowhere. The thoughts in our brain forming neural pathways. We can change them. Just like when you don't use a muscle for a while, it just kind of atrophies. It's a similar process, I understand. So we start with this power of regret to begin with. So it's a bit of a process. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor rather than just some kind of higher power, like a kind of a God figure. And it's not like that. He's a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify ourselves, that we can use to heal ourselves. So we're not looking for forgiveness. We're relying upon medicine methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long, they're shaped like lotus petals, and he's peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And then we have a section here on compassion. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very compassionately, very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top parts of your body, all the negativity of your speech. And this kind of overflows quite forcefully into space. Not one atom left. And it just, all the kind of yucky stuff just disappears. It doesn't pollute you or anything else. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your heart and fills your entire being. So it's, just in this, as instantly as when you walk into a room and flick on a switch, the light comes, instantly dispelling all the darkness of the negativity of our minds. So all your depression, anxiety, attachment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Trita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, finished. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness, wisdom, bliss, and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine the nectar flowing down, pushing out the negativities of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out the negativities of the speech, and then the light coming all at once, pushing, dissolving, eradicating the negativities of the mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So without this decision, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again from habit. So this determination, this decision we make is going to, to not harm, to refrain from harming, becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new and different directions. So rejoice in your efforts for coming along, whatever time of day it is for you. We all have things we are doing and could be also doing, but you've chosen to come here and do this. So rejoice in that, in your own effort. And then just think about something maybe you've already been working on something, some habit. So just keep working on it. Don't forget to look back at where you've come from and take heart in your own efforts. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So Rinpoche would also recommend to meditate on emptiness at the end of a practice. So we would say, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So even if you just only know the word emptiness, just let your mind rest there for a moment, and we can think all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. The way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all those people of our life, by extension, all sentient beings, and to your own very dear selves, as we all move along our spiritual path. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Upon the edge of cyclic's life far shore, wait, what's happening? With deeds accomplished resting on the bank, emerging from untainted lone awareness with sword-like insight ever penetrating. The Sun, the Dharma King, the noble Dharma, supreme illuminator of the world. The Dharma Lord, the sovereign of the Dharma, the teacher of the path to excellence. Next verse. Accomplishing all goals, fulfilling aims, completely free from wants of any kind, bereft of thought, a non-depleting source, the Dharma source, supreme beyond decay. Okay, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long. I think he said he was going to live to 110. Let's pray for that, because that's another 20 years. And then for the swift discovery of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And don't forget all of your own individual teachers. Okay, everybody, lots of love. I will see some of you tomorrow morning. Okay, thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye, Ree. Okay.
Bye.